Welcome back, everyone. Another week, another Tuesday, another stream. How are you, Shannon?
I am well. How are you doing?
We
It's
missed
been a
you.
bit.
We
It's
missed you
been
in
a
this
bit.
channel.
It's been a bit. Yeah. I think if folks have been following, I went through an adoption. So I took off a little bit of time in February and early March, and then I'm back until the start of the fiscal year at Microsoft. So you'll see us do a little bit more streaming, and we've got a lot of good stuff planned. I think that's the cool thing, right? We've got a lot of fun things planned for the rest of our fiscal year at Microsoft.
Yes.
And if folks are not familiar, Microsoft doesn't have a fiscal year that matches a calendar year. So our fiscal year is July
That wouldn't make any
1st
sense.
to,
That would make any
to
sense.
June 30th, right? Yeah, that was a little bit of a weird one for me. But now that I've worked at Microsoft, a little over 4 years now, it seems like a normal thing. So
A little over 4 years. When you celebrate your 5 years, when you get your nice plaque that I have back there as well.
yeah, but you know what's crazy? How many people choose, like you can choose a couple of things. It can be
Mhm.
the plaque or like I think there's a gift card or something. I'm going for the plaque. I'm going for the
Look,
plaque.
money and gift cards are spent and then you don't have anything to remember, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
these are the things that, you can't sell it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put it on eBay. I assume that you can put it on eBay, but what's the point? You can remember
I
that.
want to see the people that buy it off of eBay. Like, yes, I would like the 5-year mark at Microsoft. My name is not this person's name, but I want it,
It is engraved, so it makes no sense whatsoever. However, but by the way, if they break, they're super expensive to replace. And I
Uh-oh,
had
did you
somebody
break
that
one?
broke their 20-year-old one.
Oh, yeah, because they get increasingly bigger and bigger, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Right?
Eventually, there will be one that covers the whole background.
Yeah. I think your 5 years the smallest, but I think you go in 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, and 20-year, maybe even 25-year. I think, right? Do they have 30 years? I think it's every 5 years you get.
They must have, yeah.
You get a plaque. You get the opportunity to get a plaque.
There must be a 30-year one. I mean, who has stayed in the same company for 30 years? Now, mind you, if I started at Microsoft in 1985 or 1990 and the stock was pennies and now it's worth $310 since I checked yesterday, then damn, I mean, that would be a lot.
Yeah,
of money,
you're
right?
set. You're set. You're getting all of the Teslas, all of the planes, all of the boats, right?
Yeah, I have 2 doors down my neighborhood. There's a person that used to work at Microsoft for a very long time. I think he did 20 years minimum. And at some point, he had to sell stock to buy a house. So that was like back in 2000, early 2000s. So at some point, now he's not at Microsoft anymore. And so at some point, he was going through all the statements I had from Morgan Stanley or whatever we're using back then to see how much stock he had. And then he calculated how much money he would have had he not sold everything. And he's like, I'm depressed. Don't speak to me today because I'm extremely depressed. But at the same time, you have to make decisions at the time that you have to make those decisions.
True.
So
I think the stock I wish I would have gotten in on is like the Google stock or like
the
some
Amazon
of the Bitcoin.
Stock, right?
Yes. Well, on some of the Bitcoin, like, if you were smart enough to buy it when it was like $5 and then you sold it.
Don't.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, if you were smart enough to know that it was going to be volatile in general,
I know.
you sold it at the right time. Like, I am not lucky. That's why I've never gone down that path.
I had a friend that's like, dude, this Bitcoin thing, that was back in 2009. I was like, sounds so dodgy. Nah. It's like, yeah, man, you can buy pizzas and stuff with it. I'm like, nah, nope, thank you.
Yeah, right. Well,
Like,
and it's so volatile and it literally goes up, 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 then it just crashes.
Yes.
And I think that crash would be enough for me to probably lose it. That's why I never chose to go down that path. But if I had any sort of inkling on how to pay attention to that stuff, or if I would have bought stock for like Google, for instance, I mean, Google's a very highly priced stock. Same with Amazon.
$3,000 something dollars.
Yeah, if you would have known that when it was like $5 or whatever it was a share, I mean, gosh, would have been awesome. However, it was a little bit before my time. Like in the 90s, I was still a teenager, thinking I knew a lot about this world and I knew nothing. But that's what teenagers do.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, welcome to your financial advisors session on Tuesday morning. If you have just joined us,
if you're a teenager, pay attention.
And you're a teenager, invest. Tesla. I don't know. I mean, do not take advice on financial matters from us. We're just messing around.
Yeah,
this is not an educated thing. If you are investing, by the way, do invest in ETFs and do it long term. That's it. Yes. Like I wish somebody had spoken to me when I was 22, 23 and said, put $300 aside every month. And yeah, I agree with you, full snubble. Financial advice is 2020.
2020, always 2020. And I feel like that's some of the stuff that doesn't get covered when you're a kid. but
they
it's okay.
don't.
You
They should be teaching these things at school.
Right, right.
How to be fiscally responsible. I think fiscal responsibility is something very important, and we learned from my parents. So I picked up their habits, or I picked up their approach into money, which is not always the best or the worst, and therefore it's something that you don't get taught unless you do some investigation yourself, like programming. Unless you invest time yourself, nobody's going to teach you. You can learn the basics wherever you go, boot camp or university, and then it's all down to you.
Yes, exactly.
So you have a kid now. You don't look sleep deprived, which I am impressed for his age.
He actually sleeps pretty well. I'll say we get about 5 hours ish the first stretch, and we usually feed him before he goes to bed, so that sort of helps, right? You get him a little milk drunk, so to speak.
Nice.
And then he gets up like one time in the middle of the night, and then he gets up for breakfast in the morning. So we've kind of got him on a good night schedule. It's the day schedule we're trying to get him on a better one, so he can have a couple of naps, right? Because you're supposed to have, I think, like 2 really good naps during the day, and then the baby will sleep at night. But yeah, he's a little over 2 months now. And he's been a pretty easy baby, all things considered. And God, I'm knocking on wood as I'm saying this, right?
Yes.
So you know how it goes.
This one.
Right. Yeah. Knock on wood, because they can be amazing 1 month and the next month they have a regression. So
it goes like that.
We're hopeful the regressions are easy to get through. But yeah, we are getting a lot more sleep than we anticipated. So we're stoked about that.
Which means I have a fresh brain to set up SSL today.
I think so. I hope so. Look
at that segue. I am born for this.
We just set it up this week, so I feel like it was enough of a squirrely thing that Christos and I were like, we should probably maybe do this live and show how to do it, because our documentation will pitch the Microsoft way, which is fine, but people pick a number of different hosting providers for their DNS records, and we host the 425 show on Cloudflare, and that's not to say it's the right place or the wrong place. It's just when you're moving and shaking and doing a lot of things right at once, you pick what you know, and we all knew Cloudflare, so we picked Cloudflare. And
this show is not sponsored by Cloudflare, but we like to be inclusive and show people how to do things outside of Azure as well, right? So the website is hosted on Azure, and then we're using Cloudflare for SSL termination and caching.
DNS records, yeah. Yep. So I didn't realize all of the goodies that you get with Cloudflare as well. Like the idea of the SSL certs are awesome, and it's sort of baked into the platform. So it's another good thing if you're starting out, you're trying to figure out how to make things be fairly inexpensive for your journey, trying to figure out how to build things in Azure. Cloudflare has a lot of awesome things even at the free tier you can take advantage of.
It does indeed. Blew us up now, so we can look better. We both have DSLRs. We should be as well using them to their full extent.
Well, actually, technically mine's a mirrorless, but it's almost the same thing. It's like the
mirrorless is the cheaper version of the DSLR?
Sometimes they're more. So the DSLR, it's a digital single lens reflex because of the mirror in the lens. This has no mirror in the lens. But you get the same sort of feel. Yeah, you get the same sort of feel. My lenses are just shorter. They don't have the mirror in them. And for my setup, the mirrorless works a little bit better because I don't have the space to get the right lens in if it was a DSLR camera. So
this was a diss. Who dissed who? VDev. Did I diss Shannon or did she diss me? I don't know.
I don't.
Oh, for her camera?
Oh, maybe. But yeah, no. So
we're friends.
In the world of right,
we can insult each other and then still be friends.
We also are on the same team, so we have to sort of have a good banter, right?
We have to. I mean, wait until you see our intern next week.
We'll have to do a fun show next week. We'll have to introduce a new team member.
A new team member.
Yeah,
we got somebody to fetch coffee finally. Coffee!
It's a surprise. So tune in for that show next week. We'll figure out something we'll cover.
Absolutely.
We'll have a show next week.
Maybe we can teach them about identity on the show.
Maybe live and then maybe have them do something else that's somehow related to Azure but not identity. We'll see.
Maybe teach them a little bit of .NET. I don't know.
Yeah, right. And then throw in some Azure Site Recovery.
Some DID. Do it.
Yes.
That could be like an interview thing that we do for our team. People join us, and then before we get the finally go ahead, you need to jump on the stream and show us something that you build or build it live.
Yeah. Right.
That would be the ultimate test.
I feel like that's how you learn the best.
Where do I get the YAML teaser? You can get it online. It's amazing, right? Yelling at my laptop, because that's what YAML makes you do.
Yeah.
So
I was just saying, I didn't realize how much the spaces were important with the YAML until I could never build.
Do you not see that they are actually indented appropriately?
Yep.
Otherwise it wouldn't work. That's the task. And that's the details. Yeah. Bruce Lane is here. Phil Snubble is here. Bolt is here. Thanks everyone for joining us as always. And this morning I deployed a fantastic website to Azure because we have to have something to play with TLS with. And therefore, I'm going to switch my...
I feel like we should see this, because I told Christos, can you do a quick web app? And he said, I can do a quick web app. So
absolutely. Let me browse to it. There you go. And then if I open this, look at that.
Can you make it? There we go. Christos Limited. Wow.
Yeah, you're a one-stop shop for all things identity and cloud.
Now, if folks didn't tune in, when we did the decentralized identity swarm material, Christos bought a domain that's Christos Limited. Is it .com or is it .co.uk? I can't remember.
It's .com.
Is it .com?
We actually went with .com because we wanted to have the best of the best. So if I go into Cloudflare right now, oh, by the way, I had to reset all my I had to clear all my cache.
I don't know if you can make it a little bit bigger. I think our folks tuning in, they might want to see it a little bit bigger. There you go. And now people know your Outlook email. So
it's fine. They've seen it a million times. It's christoslimited.com.
Wow.
Like we're not messing about, right? And by the way, Shannon has full access to my Cloudflare account because I trust it wholeheartedly. So if my websites ever go down or if I'm taken over by something, we know who to blame.
Ask me first.
It has to be Shannon. But going back to Cloudflare, there are a lot of things that you get for free out of the box, including DDoS protection. You get free
DNS.
You get DNS. You get free SSL. The SSL will terminate at Cloudflare, but then again, there is a trusted relationship between Cloudflare and Azure Web Apps, as you will see, and therefore anything that goes between them is there. And there's also caching. So there's edge caching, which means that anything that has to, like if you have a blog, for example, then Cloudflare will serve the pages without having to go to the server for anything that has been cached there for a while, which is great. Yes. You did DOS yourselves, Phil Snubble?
Yeah, that's not. I worked with a customer that did that themselves as well. It's not a fun reality. It was a firewall change that somebody thought they approved and they didn't approve, and that was many moons ago too. But and then that was a fun RCA as well, a root cause analysis. We had to present it with the customer. It was like we probably should have paid more attention to all of it. And I think because you think about those change request meetings, not everybody's paying attention the same way, right? No, and not everybody's thinking about all of the things that connect into the firewall. So that was a fun one. But yeah, so Fuel Snabble, and I hope I'm saying that right. I've worked with customers you're not alone. I wish you were alone, but you're not alone. I hope you feel comfort in that.
You're not alone. So we have the website running. You'll notice up here, you can probably notice up here, but if you look at my domain and zoom in really, really well, you'll notice that it is running on HTTPS. However, it is running under the Azure Websites.net, which Microsoft says it's not recommended. So it's a stopgap between you having HTTPS, TLS on your website and a custom domain and running on HTTP. So instead of running on HTTP, Azure will do a little bit of work to apply that. But remember that certificate is shared with everybody that runs on Azure Websites.net. So it's not yours. It's a shared cert that Microsoft owns. And the recommendation is that once you go into production, you should have custom domains. And this is what we're going to do today. So we have a custom domain that we can use. And we start with custom domains, right, Shannon?
Correct.
Okay. So here it says, add a custom domain. We will add custom domain. And the custom domain will be christosltd.com. And we need to validate that. So this is where the magic happens. I will let Shannon take over and do all the Cloudflare magic while we are working on this. So Shannon, what do you need from me?
Okay, you need, hold on a second here.
You need a TXT and you need an A record, right?
Correct.
So okay, I am going to paste them in Teams. Or I'll paste them in our private chat.
Perfect. Do that. And I will log in.
And then I will share your screen once you're ready.
I will.
Everybody's a fraud. Kind of inverse imposter syndrome. How does that work?
Screen.
I'm pretty comfortable in knowledge that the other devs suck as much as I do. We all suck collectively, so do not despair.
Well, and I mean, and think about how quickly cloud has gone. I mean, often I'm asking questions that people are like, "How do you not know that?" And I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know. That's why I'm just going to ask. Okay.
Yes.
So now,
okay, I'm going to share your screen.
We need a couple of things.
We do indeed.
So
Shannon is operating on my DNS environment.
Let me move my little cheat sheet stuff.
But we're going through the team building exercise and we trust each other.
Yeah, right.
I fell backwards and they caught me, so that means that
I didn't let Christos fall. Maybe I should. No, I'm kidding. I would never do that. That's not my thing. All right, so we have an A record, and Christos sent me the public IP for that.
Hey, Trooper. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Right on time. We just started configuring our TLS and SSL in Cloudflare. Cloudflare is a very useful skill and service. Yes.
What we will do. So just so folks know, I don't think we showed this. The custom domains have like a red X next to them, or a red exclamation point, I think is what it is. So I'm adding in this root domain with the IP4 address, and I'm going to hit just save for now, and I'm going to show you how we fix some of this. So save, and then I'm going to add another record.
Yeah, that's the TXT.
Yep, it's the TXT.
Yep. DNSing is the skill set.
And
maybe later building the same with Azure functionality. Oh, you mean the DNS thing in Azure? Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so finally,
I like how we do something and people say, "Can you do it with a slight variation?" Yeah, absolutely. And TLS is under the guise of security. You should always run HTTPS. So yeah, the DNS and also the cert part. Absolutely.
What is the website address? Do you want to put that in the private chat? The Azure websites? I didn't grab that. I'm sorry.
Oh, you need the Azure websites address as well?
I do.
Sure, no problem. It is there. There you go.
Okay, so then then we'll put this in the content. We'll save this. And we will also add a Cname.
Do we need the Cname?
I believe so. Yeah. So
it doesn't say anything about Cname down here.
So did we? Okay, let's go into
the other one.
Joe. Yeah. So we just did this.
We did do this.
Yeah.
Oh, we need a Cname.
Yep, we do. We need that.
Okay.
So we just did this, which is why it's one of those things that was kind of nice that we had to experience all of this in real time.
That's the one that you also need to proxy as well, right? The Cname and the A record, or is it the Cname?
So one of the things is we don't proxy, and so I'll ruin it a little bit. We don't proxy one thing. We got to fix that, but I'll do this in the interim right now. Okay. So I will do. We just need it for this. We'll hit save. Okay, so that must. Okay, so what's weird is, so hang on. Is it that? Okay, so they're not letting me do it. Okay. What's weird is, let's see. So second record. Let's do let's delete this temporarily because the instructions I have, the Cname comes in first. So let's do the Cname first. And then we'll it's possible that's what the issue was. Save.
Oh, it doesn't like it. Interesting. Is it because it doesn't need the HTTPS in the front?
Possible. Let's try this. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Live stuff, right?
I feel you.
So let's hit save.
That's what does it complain about?
So then let's just, because I do think we need the Cname, but let's do what we did the other day. Let's do the TXT record.
Yeah, let's do the TXT. I think target should be crystallslimited.com.
Correct. Yes, and then.
Well, you need the TXT ASUD, isn't it?
You do need the ASUD as well.
Yep.
We can put that in there. That's the ASUD.
For the Cname, so it's JP Flick.
Yes, and then I need this as well.
Is that JP disguised as with a different name? JP Flick.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That is right. DNS is always tricky, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then we'll do for the Cname, because, yeah, there needs to be a Cname in here. Do
cmatchcast.limited?
That's what we wind up
doing. It's
doing.
Crystals Limited, yeah. I keep on forgetting.
Yep. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's JP Dandison. You have to find out after the fact.
Reveal yourself, JP Flick.
So I think all of these are in here correctly. Okay. Now, the one thing that you'll want to double check, yeah, I think that is him. JP, if that is you, hello.
What do you drive, JP? What kind of car do you drive? Let's see. Did he change his car yet?
So
okay, so the main name has been validated.
I wanted to show this, right? So there's some work that we have to do. So it's not just as straightforward as putting an A record in, a C record in, all of the above.
Yep.
We also have to put in the ASU ID as well, which I believe is a TXT. So let's add another record.
Yep.
I'll grab the ASU ID. Check one thing here. Because, yeah, I believe that gets placed in here as well.
I believe I can fly.
I'm going to put... I believe this is how you do it. Let's see if it'll let me do it. I will. Okay. And this just prevents domain hijacking, which is a thing.
Yep.
So I believe that's all we have to do. Now, the piece that I want to hit home on is while we do the certificate, because now we need to get the actual SSL certificate. What we'll want to do is we will want to change the Cname so that it's not proxied. And then we change this when the certificate is up. So we want to change this.
Okay. Yeah, because right now Crystals Limited is dead.
Correct. Right. So we're not going to proxy all of this. We'll put the proxy back in place when this is up and functional, and we will take the proxy off for here.
Yeah.
Just swap the certificate. So now we've got all of the records. We've got a TXT, we've got a Cname, a text record, right? And then we've got the A record. So I believe all of these are correct. And again, our sort of rough notes, we're going to put this into a blog. And so if this doesn't work right, we will troubleshoot on the fly and we'll get it up and functional, because it did work for the 425 show. So we can always just flip over there and make sure we're doing this right. So I think the big thing is, let me open this up.
Yeah, I agree, JP Flick. DNS can take time. However, we've noticed that with Cloudflare, it's been extremely fast to get everything resolved. So we should be able to do it within the hour or within the duration of this stream.
Okay. So now
is that command line or is that PowerShell?
It's PowerShell, but it could be command line. Because of the way that it opens, I'm able to do the DOS type of commands as well. So that's
for an IT pro, I find your lack of customization on your terminal extremely
so I recently reinstalled this. I need to go and do more with it. I had more. I had to reinstall this for some reason. I ran into problems updating PowerShell to the version it's on.
What?
And so I don't know. I don't know if something was wrong with my computer, so I wiped it out and reinstalled it. So I've not put any customization back on.
Well, in that case, I've got a link for you that you can follow in my blog post.
Do it.
Do it.
Oh, it's yours. Okay,
It is
cool. I was gonna
mine.
say if it's Hanselman's, I've got his bookmarked as well.
Nah, I took it one step further.
Okay, so then let's see. So now we need to go into SSL TLS.
Yes.
And we want to do full.
You may want to zoom one click in that one.
Right. This encrypts end to end. This tends to work well. You can play around with these, but when in our scenario, this worked out really well.
It did. It indeed.
And then we needed to go down to the origin server. We need to create the certificate. So I'm going to leave the default settings. You could always experiment, right? But 2048 will do it. Christos Limited, right? We'll leave it at 15 years. Hopefully you're limited still up in 15 years, ChristosLimited.com. If not, the certificate will still be available if you needed to ever grab it. So hit create. And then, so I'm going to copy this, put it into Notepad. Okay, and then this is the certificate. So
can you imagine somebody freeze framing this one and trying to copy character?
Yeah, right. That would.
Although you can copy paste images to Notepad these days, not Notepad, to OneNote, and it will find the text and extract it, so you don't have to type one character at a time. Am I giving advice on how to get our certificate hacked?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Let's see. So we're going to call this the .pem. So we'll call this. Call that. We'll hit save because this is the actual certificate. And then we'll grab the key.
I would say put it on a separate window that nobody can see it, because they can freeze frame that one.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So hang on. Oop. I don't know what the deal is. Every so often things like to not want to function this early in the morning, I often blame
Windows.
Yeah, Windows. That's could be some of it. Okay, so I'm going to call this ChristosLTD.pem.key. Whoops. It's in a different window, so you can't actually see it because this is my key. And we're going to leave this. Most likely, that tells me we're going to leave this up. Now, it looks very similar to the actual certificate itself, but notice how I'm not giving you the full bit. Okay. Then we hit OK.
Hit OK.
And we've got the opportunity now to use OpenSSL.
Yes.
Okay.
OpenSSL actually works inside PowerShell now, so you don't have to install it separately.
Correct. Now, so notice how I've got both of these files sitting here.
Very nice.
And because I don't use OpenSSL all that often, I am going to.
Oh, you're gonna send me some files through Teams, right? So I need to open Teams.
Oh yeah. I can send it to you via Teams. Yeah, actually, and I should open up Teams too.
You don't want to. It's like beep beep beep. All these notifications.
I know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you. I'm going to zip this up, send it to you, and then I'm going to get off.
Yes. Otherwise, it was like a constant flow of notifications.
I mean, so working at Microsoft, people do like to drown you in email and Teams notifications, which is totally fine. You figure out a way to work with it, Let me do this. I am going to.
Also, if you haven't experienced this in the corporate environment, people add you to multiple teams all day long. Like, you should join our team. You should join our team. And then you end up with 20,000 teams inside your Teams team. That's like too many teams in there, but you get the gist. Too many groups to belong to. I think our naming is awful. Teams team. Let me create a Teams team.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't think Skype was any better, So.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going backwards. Just want to go forward. And Slack is not better. Discord. Damn, we should have bought Discord. I'm telling you. Whoever did not pull the trigger on Discord missed out big. But it would have been a direct competitor to Teams. So I don't know if that was the case.
I know that we had tried. I don't know all the specifics. It would have been a really cool bit. Okay.
And TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
We should have gotten TikTok. Man.
It's just the U.S. operations.
Why would have named TikTok if we rebranded like Microsoft Video, whatever, something, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft Source.
Okay, so the open SSL command. It's right here. So I've pasted it in the chat. So it's open SSL PKCS12. You have to put the in key. Now I'm in the right directory, right? So the in key is going to be the key. And then I'm going to have it take a look at the certificate, and I'm going to export a Pfx file. So Azure Web Apps need a Pfx file, like most websites, if you think about it, right? And you can use OpenSSL to sort of take these two and create that Pfx file.
Very nice.
So when I hit enter, it's going to prompt me for a password.
Which you need to do
type out
off screen.
Right. I'm going to figure out, let's see.
Just to use the same password. Password 123 exclamation mark.
The same one as the other one that we did earlier in the week. So I'm typing it out that way I don't,
Yeah.
like lose it, right? So
it's Hunter 2 for our team. If you want to hack a server, just try Hunter 2. Don't forget the exclamation mark at the end.
Okay. It didn't like, so I just had to go into OpenSSL directly.
Oh.
So let's try this.
Password?
Maybe I don't need OpenSSL then. Hang on a second. Do I have the wrong PKCS12? Yeah.
Unhackable password.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Graph TNT.
What am I missing? Okay, so hang on a second.
Yeah, I'm hanging on.
PKCS12. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's weird. So
if you type OpenSSL, it works fine?
Yeah, it's weird. So let's try this.
Because you did it last week, right? I mean, what, 2 days ago? Yesterday.
Yeah.
Did we do it yesterday or Friday?
So I'm going to try it with the DOS prompt. We'll see if this works better.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember all of this
CLS,
stuff.
CLS for DOS.
Well, okay, I was going to say, is it CLS or is that the alias in PowerShell? See, again.
Hey, Bruce, we all struggle, man. We all struggle every day. Even with basic commands. Let me Google this.
Yeah, so let's try this. Let's see if this works.
That's how auth works this century. What worked last week no longer works today. That's absolutely right, Blazer. Blazer, Mr. Magoo. Hey, welcome back. It's been a long time. Man, Teams.
Why is it not doing it? Okay, that is super peculiar. Let's go.
But I don't think you should be in DOS because DOS doesn't have OpenSSL.
Well, but I'm getting the same bit. So I say I have it installed on my machine.
Is there a command that we're missing?
That's what I'm wondering. And
like, check your notes. Check your notes.
I'm looking. Yeah. So in key. Let's see if we can find that. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is always fun trying to figure out.
Oh, don't worry. We'll figure it out in the end. And yeah, you're right, Laser Mr. Magoo. What worked last week is not going to work this week. Things are moving so fast these days.
Oh, I am missing something. Let me double check.
What were you missing?
I think I'm missing the... It might be... Okay, so it might be the way in which... Let's try this. We'll go back to PowerShell.
Yep. So what was missing? Export. Hey, hi.
I had export at the end, and it did work when I ran this, right? But I'm wondering if I did update OpenSSL recently. It was stating that it had changed. And then let's double check on
Pfx Bob. That's a beautiful name.
Oh, you know what? It's the dash out.
Ah.
That's what
so I thought it was.
Yep. Okay. So this should now work.
Why out? Says Bruce Lane.
It's because we're exporting. We're taking the key and the certificate, and we're exporting a Pfx file. Now, the way it was always told to me way back when, a Pfx file is like a blending of those two.
Yeah.
And that's what's essentially trusted. So that way you're not giving out the key. I mean, the public certificate is accessible regardless, but you're not giving out the key. It blends the two together, and that's what allows you to trust the website. So, so my apologies on missing the dash out. Okay.
Yeah, I hate when I have to type the password and I have to look at the keyboard to make sure that I don't screw it up.
Yep.
Why out was missing before dash before I meant why out was missing the dash before I meant we figured it out in the end.
I think I already screwed it up. Let's do it again.
It's not hard to type Hunter too.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
So now we've got the Pfx file. All right. So let me go into that directory. And I'm not going to.
If that sounded too loud on my end, I don't have a what's it called? A cutoff for the sound. OBS does. This one doesn't. So if I get super excited and get super loud, blame it on the software.
Okay. You know what I also wish was a little bit better? The menu options in Windows 11. You have to go to Other to do certain things.
Yes. But yeah, don't have to press the Alt key. Remember in the good old days where you hit the right click and Alt and then find all the secret commands?
So I'm sending you all of the files.
All the files.
And then I'm going to send you the password over Teams.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And so confirm you got it. And it looks like it's sending.
Oh, got my zip file downloading now. All the files of the internet? Yeah. Because
and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing because now you know the password. And you should be able to do this now. So here, I'm going to stop sharing.
Yep.
We'll need you to. Okay, now you're sharing. Oh, sorry. I stopped sharing.
Did you share my screen?
Well, I don't think I shared your screen. I think your screen was shared. Here, look, we'll turn it off. We'll turn it off. There we go.
Fine.
So get yourself situated.
Somebody doxed me. Somebody doxed me.
So
it's my trusted partner.
I didn't realize it was just sharing. I didn't know you had that set up. So my apologies.
My bad.
Do
not
let
hack us, guys. Do not.
Let me know when you're ready. And what I'll do here is I will turn your screen back on.
I am ready.
Okay.
Here we go. I am ready. Okay. So here you are. You should be able to see my screen. So we validated the domain, and down here you'll see that it says host name availability and domain ownership has been proven.
Yep. So no, time out. Hit add. Oh, you got to add the custom domain. You didn't do that. So go in and do it again.
Oh, come on.
I know. Sorry.
God.
So enter it in.
That's the same thing that we did last time.
No,
right?
it's the C. What is it?
Christos Limited.
Yeah, Christos Limited.
I've got so many enterprises now.
.com. Yep. And hit validate.
And then validate
so hit add custom domain. Yep.
I like that it's a two-step thing in the same wizard. Okay, so it says not secure. We need to add the binding.
So add the binding.
We also want to say HTTPS only, right?
Correct.
That's switching it on, and then we'll add the binding. So here, upload the PFX. This is what we're going to do now. Select the file. Our PFX should be under here and then there. Thank you for the awesome naming and the password now, which I am not going to type. I am going to copy paste.
Yeah, do that. If it gives you grief, type it in. Open SSL and copying and pasting stuff in the command line is like my least favorite thing to do. So I just add.
Oh, it's working. I don't see any complaints. Done.
So now
certificate.
There's the Cloudflare, yep, and the SSL type. It's SNI SSL, which I can't remember what SNI.
Last time we were not presented the IP version. We just got SNI. Remember for the 45show.com? We did not get that. Oh, you know what? I don't think you created a full certificate. I think you went with a different option in Cloudflare, maybe.
That's quite possible because we're always ripping and running, trying to get stuff up and functional. And then when we stop and we slow down, we always follow the instructions like to a T when people are watching. And we're like, that's okay. So this is the real way of doing it. So now
we should be able to actually navigate to that.
Now you might still get that it's insecure.
No, it's dead. Do I need to do HTTPS maybe?
Yeah, I think so because it requires it. What?
That is definitely dead in the water. Let me.
It works.
It works. Am I cast? I think I'm cast somewhere.
It works. However, it's still saying that it's not secure. So
wait, do I need to save something here? Because I tried to navigate. It says unsaved edits will not be saved. What? What is unsaved?
Okay, so scroll down because I was going to say because I have it. It just says it's not secure right now. But if you click on the certificate, it says it's Cloudflare. So if you want, you can flip to me. I can showcase.
Wait, what am I missing here?
I think it works. Let me. So don't do anything on your screen. Let me share my screen real quick here.
Yeah, you show your screen.
And I can show what I see. So let's see. So I think I stopped sharing. My apologies. Okay, so we've got this here. So let's go to Christos Limited.
How can we launch our yeah, YOLO, exactly, Phil Snubble. We do everything. Why not?
Now it's still saying that it's not secure, but
it almost feels
the
like
certificate is now coming from Cloudflare.
Uh-huh.
So if we wait a bit, because everything's cached right now, if we wait a bit, this should work. Now, what we'll want to do too is we'll want to flip back over here to Cloudflare. We'll want to go into the DNS settings.
Oh, yes. We want
to edit these two and make them be proxied. So I'll hit save for that.
That's right.
Proxied as well. So now I don't understand the proxy component as well. Like I'm still a little newer to Cloudflare in general, but I know that sort of helps with the fast load time from a DNS perspective.
Yep. So TLS settings. What? Oh, it always does that no matter what. Okay.
And then do you want me to flip back to you? You want to try it again?
Let me.
Because it's up. Okay, so maybe you're just hitting some cache something. Now hang on, let's flip to yours.
I am seeing exactly the same, and now I am fully secure. So if
you're fully secure, yeah. So mine, when we were playing around with it the other day for the 425 show, mine takes a bit, and I don't know if it's Comcast. I don't know if it's just I have to be patient.
I am Comcast as well.
Oh, so it's not Comcast.
And I have Pi-hole as well, which you have.
I do.
Which is interesting. But these are the steps. These are the steps that it takes to do it. There's a little bit of back and forth, but technically there are two things. One is to own the domain. And then in Cloudflare, you need to go and add let's start with Azure Web App. In the Azure Web App, you need to go and set up a custom domain. It will give you the information. You need to go and paste that into your Cloudflare DNS. In Cloudflare, once you configure your DNS, I need to obviously stop sharing, and then I need to quit my Teams.
Oh.
And once you do all your Cloudflare, then you need to create your certificate. And with that certificate, you need to upload it onto Azure Web Apps to create this trusted relationship between Cloudflare and Azure Web Apps. And then you proxy all the traffic through Cloudflare. So Cloudflare will do the SSL termination, TLS, will validate the incoming requests, terminate there, and then it will communicate with your Azure Web App. And sometimes you won't because it will cache at the edge, which is perfect. And we will put a blog post out there to actually show you how to do it step by step as well if you ever get stuck, because the couple of documentation pieces that we found were a little bit out of date. We want to make sure they have the latest and greatest. And this one is running.
That's why I had like my notes on a different page, and I had like the website, the blog post we had found. It was from a couple of years ago. So I think refreshing this, getting this out on our blog site, and I think having it be something there for now, because things like to change, have it out there for now. I feel like that'll help, especially if folks are hosting what they're doing inside of Cloudflare. I think a lot of folks wind up doing that because, like we had mentioned earlier in the stream, Cloudflare offers a lot even at the free tier. So so it's a really great tool that I think a lot of devs and IT pros pick when they're trying to get more familiar with security inside of Azure and inside of just the World Wide Web as it stands. So
it is indeed. Now, if you like what you saw today, make sure to join us on Discord. I'll put the details on our channel here. Let me see if we have anyone on YouTube watching us. HQ Card, can you ask her where did she get the Authenticator app for Windows? What? The Authenticator app for Windows? Do you have Authenticator app for Windows?
I do not, but I know there is one. I don't know how to get it though. because we have seen it with like when we had the decentralized identity bits. Matthias was using the Windows Authenticator app. I think it's
is there maybe an internal version that is not publicly
That's what I'm
available
wondering. But I don't have it installed. What you saw in the taskbar might be a different app. So you can hit me up and let me know what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I tried to find it. I couldn't find it, which tells me it might be more internal than it is external. But I know that we have shown it on our show, which tells me at some point it'll be available. And when I saw all of the stuff we had done with Matthias and team and Rohit, it was all in a beta format. And it's because if you have Authenticator on your Android, if you want to take screenshots of it, it doesn't allow it.
Yeah.
It does on the iOS flavor.
It does.
Right? But it doesn't on Android. And so as a result, I wonder if that's why that little tool showed up on a stream in the past. But yeah, so if you're looking at my doc, I do put a lot of apps in my taskbar. I'm wondering if maybe it's a different app. So hit me up, ask me what app it was. I don't know which app it is, and I can tell you, I've got like Snagit down there and like a calculator and the stuff I need. The stuff I need fast, right?
On your taskbar?
In my taskbar, you'd be shocked at how often. Yeah, you'd be shocked at how often I use the calculator, and it's faster than going into like search for the calculator and launch calculator.
Okay.
I only have we all work in weird ways, my friend.
I know. I have just blockers for everything, like ad blockers. I mean, you can't browse the internet without ad blockers. I also did not realize how many ads YouTube shows until I browsed YouTube outside the browser that had ad blockers, and then I was like,
yeah. Well, and then I don't know if you followed Vanced. So I used YouTube Vanced to sort of make sure that I would never get an ad. However, now that that's being decommed, and there was some legal rigmarole, I went through this whole notion of getting more kind of URLs in my Pi-hole to help block it for like phones and stuff.
Okay.
But even that's not foolproof, unfortunately. So it's hard.
What happened to stream? We had a little bit of a freeze. It's okay.
Uh-oh.
We need to get back into using OBS. By the way, I found that OBS was a lot better last week, and then just push through Restream. So we're probably gonna set up because we have a new brand. Do you see our 45show.com website? It's stunning. 45show.com. And a new video, which we will be pushing out. I mean, you can watch it right now on our YouTube channel or the 45show.com web.
And I think the short story is we're looking for folks to collaborate with us. So if you're real excited about the work that we do and you want to join us and you've got some interesting, cool things that you want to show, go to the 425 Show, fill out the form we've got linked there. You can always write us an email too if you want to just have some dialogue. And then obviously all of us, both of us, we're on Twitter as well. And LinkedIn, and the internet. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. So if you've got other questions and you want to connect with me in those ways, I tend to have a lot of good dialogue over the course of the day throughout Twitter and LinkedIn. So feel free to connect with us and ask more questions. But I think the short story is we're looking for collaborators for future kind of concentrated swarms or sprints, however you want to think about it. And if you're doing a lot in the realm of identity and security, please reach out. We're looking for folks to collaborate with. It'll help you out. It'll help us out. We'll get more exposure to you, to our team in general, to the division.
Yep.
It's all good.
And you don't have to be an MVP. We actually open this up to everyone. And therefore, although the things that we'll be discussing are not NDA, and therefore there's no risk of exposing, you don't have to sign anything.
Correct.
But we really look forward to working with you guys. And if you like all the content, then make sure to subscribe on Twitch so you don't miss out any upcoming shows. And
Bolt, I wish I wasn't doing a lot in identity, but
Bolt, you're doing way more than you should be doing in identity. Like I see you extremely engaged on Discord. I think Discord belongs to Bolt. He's doing all the heavy lifting.
I feel like he needs some sort of medal for
community recognition award.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's on the way. We've discussed this a few times. We just haven't found the best thing for it. But rest assured, Bolt and everyone else in the community that helps our members, that we recognize your efforts and we'll try to do something for you. But this was a good show. There will be a blog post to follow this. And on Thursday. I don't know if we have anything planned for now. We'll come up with something. Or you can give us an idea. Or we can do the DNS thing on Azure instead. So we can show the two things side by side.
Could. Yeah, we easily could. We could do something on Azure specifically.
Do you have any domains that we can use?
On that. I'd have to double check. I think maybe all my domains are in use.
Maybe we need to get the intern to buy a few domains and then use them.
As far as I know, the intern that's starting next week has like a bunch of domains.
Few domains, yeah.
So what we could do too is we could wait until the intern starts, who's got a bunch of domains, and make the intern do that show.
Like next week.
Yeah. Well, it's an option.
It is an option. Yeah.
It's kind of like Agile in real life, right? Like our show.
Yeah.
Agile
maybe they don't like it. Maybe they don't like being in the public eye. You know?
Right.
Maybe their side.
But yeah, tune in next week for sure. The folks that are familiar with our show, tune in next week. We'll have some fun.
We do. That's a prerequisite. You have to have at least a minimum quota of domains, Bolt, to be hired at Microsoft.
I think I might be on the lower end. I think I only have 6 domains, and I think they're all in use. But I'll double check, Christos.
I only have 2.
Oh, so you are in the minority then.
I sold all of them, and I made a profit.
I mean, that's a thing. Like if you pick a domain that somebody wants to pick, and like, so when I used to work for one of the companies I used to work for, they bought everything in relative similarity to the name of the company, right? Oh. And they bought all the comms, the IOs, the everything. So they didn't have anybody else trying to compete with them within that space. So it was interesting.
There is also legal precedent where a company will force the registrar to give up domains if they are directly associated with that company. So for example, somebody had Visual Studio for Mac or something very similar to it, both on Twitter and URL. And I reached out to the marketing team and we acquired them, which sucks. But there's like, we own the product, so nobody could actually own the URL. So if you're thinking about buying a domain just to make a profit, I think these days things have changed quite a bit. I think in the early 2000s, that was a
little easier to do.
Damn it, I was a teenager back then. I could not foresee the future and buy domains bulk. That would have been awesome, right?
Yeah. Well, and then, you know, it's funny too. You hear of these interesting things where somebody buys like I don't know, like, was it? I don't think it was Google, but it was a site like Google, because like the SSL cert or the domain went up for renewal and it wasn't recurring.
Yes.
And somebody got it. I don't. Google's in my head, but I don't think it was Google. So.
Team Stock is trying to sell Christos Limited. Is that the .net domain? I'll buy it off you. It's like there's like a .dev and there's a .dev, .net. I don't know. Christos Limited .dev sounds exciting. Or .io.
.io sounds like you've got NFTs and Bitcoin.
Yes. Christos.io. Do you think that's taken?
You should take it. You should totally take
it. No, don't do this to me. I'm not buying a domain for the next show. You guys are not cheap. I don't know. What do it take? Azure domains. I'm just gonna take that now and see. Buy a custom domain. I'm gonna share.
Which is actually really cool. You can do this now.
So
I did this so I don't know if folks pay attention to the open hacks. Some of the open hacks at Microsoft. That's how I found out about this. I didn't even know you could do this.
You actually have to go through the Azure Web App to get the...
Correct. You can buy the domain there.
But I don't want to buy it there. I want to buy it separately. Expensive.
I mean, I don't remember if our internal subscriptions can do this. I don't think they can, Christos. So just FYI.
No, they don't. That's a good point. So let's do Cloudflare.
So our Microsoft domains can't do this, or our Microsoft are not domains. Our Microsoft subscriptions can't do this. But
wait, I don't think Cloudflare can buy domains. I think you have to.
Can.
Oh, they have.
You can. It's a newer feature. Because remember, after I saw how easy it was, I'm moving some of my domains there.
Where? Okay. What? How? Where?
So log into your cloud.
Oh, I need to log. Oh God, I need to log in again. I'm already logged in, by the way. I don't know why I did not pick it up. Register. Okay, here.
Yeah. So you can
I think we bought it here the last time, right?
I think this is how we did Christos Limited.
Yes. Manage domains. I want to register domain. Here, there you go. So Christos ltd.io.
And search it.
Search that. Oh, $33 for the IO. Man.
Look at that LTD USA, man. LTD.ltd. That one's a good one.
They have UK.
XYZ. Christoslimited.xyz.
I mean, can you imagine if we made it XXX and then I would be like, not the content you expect to see here.
Right. People were joining. They're like, what's awesome on this XXX site? Oh, it's stuff about identity and security.
No. So I have US at 650. And then they have .NET for $9.95. You can buy it with internal subdomains and cert direct in Azure. Really?
Yeah.
Cloudflare can sell domains and cheap. I mean, the .NET is... I would love the .io, but it's way too... I mean, the name is not too funky. What about Christos.io? Do you think somebody owns that?
Maybe.
No. Nope. Can you imagine having a top-level domain as Christos? I am not. I'm not pressing buy.
I often go by Shan, right? That's like my shortened version of my name. That's why I like my Twitter handle, Shan Keen, right? And it's Keen.
Yeah.
People often are like it's Kuhn. It's Keen. I use Shan quite a bit, and Shan.io is up for grabs. Maybe I should buy that. Maybe we can play around with that on Thursday.
But that's $33, isn't it? Shan is SHAN.
Yeah, SHAN. Yeah, it's $33.
I am buying it and I'm selling it to you for $35.
Dang. $2 upsell.
Click, purchase. Yeah. So that reminds me, we need another 45 show after dark stream. We will have an after dark stream with a fellow Australian friend of ours.
So coming up here, we've got an Australian counterpart, an Australian guest that's coming up, and unfortunately, he's asleep right now because he's 16 hours ahead of me. He's 18 hours ahead of Christos.
Oh man, we had a fun meeting yesterday trying to work out time zones, and
it was tough, but we figured it out. You know, the cool part about it is Teams now shows you how far ahead somebody is.
And Outlook, I think, right? They do both.
Oh yeah, Outlook does too, but it was Teams where I noticed it originally, so I often default to Teams. But now, it's Outlook now too.
Yeah, and on that note, we are about to say farewell until next time. It could be Thursday, it could be next Tuesday with our intern joining us and having some fun.
We'll have to figure out. We're in the middle of like 5 different things simultaneously. Always, right? 5 different things always. So Thursday is TBD, but next week we'll for sure have a stream. And we'll Christos and I will figure out what we can do to get something potentially up and spun up on for Thursday.
Yeah, we'll find a domain somewhere to play around with.
Nice.
You're welcome, team. Thanks everyone for joining us this morning. As always, we love our friends.
Hopefully it was helpful. And the reason we went down this path was because we had to set it up this week, and I was like, this is not well documented. We should probably put some content out there because I can't imagine we're alone.
It is not. Wait for the blog post, which is coming soon. Send us your questions. Join us on Discord. Follow and subscribe on Twitch, and follow and subscribe on YouTube. And we will see you very, very soon, everyone. Thank you again.
Thanks for joining.